When you're thinking about the number of units to take during the semester, there's a lot of factors that you have to consider. For example, you want to think about your family responsibilities, the personal commitments that you have, and also whether or not you're going to need tutoring. When thinking about the family responsibilities, you really need to think about whether or not you have children, whether you have to help care for your brothers and sisters. This is important because that will impact the amount of time you can devote to your academics. Also, if you have to work, when we have a lot of personal commitments outside of school, it also interferes with how much time we can devote to our studies. So that's also something that you need to consider. If you know that you're going to be taking a difficult subject, make the time in your or plan the time in your schedule to devote to studying or to participating in study groups, because that's going to be really important. And if you don't plan ahead to include that time, you're going to find yourself struggling later. When you're looking at how many units to take, you really want to think about how many hours a week you're working. If you're working 20 hours a week, then you can handle coming to school full time. So you can take 12 to 13 units. However, if you're working more than 20 hours, say for instance you're working 30 hours a week, then you really only want to consider taking 7 units. In the semesters following that, you can think about maybe taking additional units, maybe coming up to 10 units, but to begin with, as a new student, you really only want to think about taking 7 units. Now, if you're a full-time employee working 40 hours a week, then I really only recommend 3 to 4 units. More than that would really be too much. As you continue to take courses, if you feel that you can handle more than 3 to 4 units in the semesters that follow, then you can go ahead and go up to maybe 7 units. But just to begin with, as a new student, 3 to 4 units would be enough if you're working 40 hours a week.
Hello, newly admitted Falcon. My name is Mr. Wiggins, and I'm a counselor here at Cerritos College. Today I'm going to share with you a little bit about our schedule of classes. Within this book, there is a great amount of information that will be able to assist you in your transition to Cerritos. First of all, I want you to be aware of page 5. Page 5 highlights our calendar of important dates. And within that, it breaks down according to session. We offer here at Cerritos an 18-week session, 2 9-week sessions, and a 15-week session. In addition to that, toward the bottom of the page, you will note additional important dates, holidays, when to file certain petitions, when your final exams will be. All of that is listed on the 5th page of your schedule. And it's great. It's a great help to you planning out your schedule for the rest of the year. Now, as we move on, one of the things that the schedule is good for is listing the classes that you can potentially take. Now, within that, you need to know that there are a number of different types of abbreviations and terminology that you would need to familiarize yourself with so that you can plan out the best schedule possible. Let's take a look at a typical course listing in the class schedule, and we'll identify those terms that you need to be aware of. Let's take a look at the 5-digit number underneath one of the classes. Let's look at the English 52 class. The ticket number or class number is 24028. That's the number that you will be using to actually register for the class. You will enter it into your shopping cart on My Cerritos. The next area I want you to take a look at is what is called a prerequisite. A prerequisite is a course or test score that you need before you can enroll in that particular class. So for instance, if we look at English 100, the prerequisite is satisfactory completion of the English placement process or completing English 52 with a grade of C or higher. That would allow you to take English 100. Some of our courses have prerequisites and others have advisories, or you may see the term requisite, which is equivalent to prerequisite. Now, the next thing I would like to highlight is the concept of a learning community. that typically is denoted by the LC term. As you can see in English 52 LC. And a learning community is a group of 2 or more classes that are linked together. The students in those courses, they all enroll in the classes together, and they support one another and are taught by instructors who collaborate on different subjects throughout the courses. It's a pretty good way to meet new students and to form bonds that will last you throughout your community college experience. Now let's take a look at English 100 again. If you scroll down the list, you'll see to the far right a term by the name of hybrid. Now, a hybrid course meets both on campus and online. In a hybrid course, you will attend meetings on campus during the dates and times listed on your instructor's website. There might also be times listed in the schedule of classes that you need to meet for a mandatory meeting or something of the sort. Now, as you continue to scroll down, you'll see Math 80, Intermediate Algebra. And under one of the courses, about a quarter of the way down, you'll see Semi-Independent section. Now, a semi-independent course is not for everyone. Instead of attending regular lectures, students read and learn the material on their own. There are additional instructors and supplemental instructors in the workroom to assist students that are taking a semi-independent course, but for the most part, there are not traditional lectures in this style of course. So you really have to be motivated and willing to read and learn the material on your own. And there is tutorial assistance offered during certain times throughout the week. Now, as we scroll down on the Math 80 section, I want you to notice that there are certain courses that are bolded. Those bolded courses signify that they are actually evening courses. It's just a way of helping you identify on the schedule of classes which ones are offered at night. Now, you might also see the term OL or online denoted within a course section. That means that the course itself is offered entirely online, and you have to typically show up for mandatory orientation to be able to take that course. Typically on the first day of classes, you show up and the instructor gives you a syllabus and kind of tells you what the outlay of the course will be, and all work and communications for that course occur online. You may also have an exam on that you will have to take on campus. Last but not least, in the back of the class schedule, you will find our campus map with all of the building abbreviations and other pertinent information that you will need to get around campus and to locate your classes.